Welcome to After Hours, where stories come alive after dark. I'm your host, and the story continues. Previously on The Inheritance, Marcus and Desiree retrieved the wooden box from Grand Central. Inside, page 48 with the names of the Seven, and a cassette tape containing Harrison Whitmore's confession to murder. But the biggest revelation was personal. Whitmore owns the company where Marcus has worked for 11 years. He was never an employee. He was always a hostage. Now Marcus and Desiree are on a train heading north, to a safe house in Connecticut, to a network Victor Cole built in the final year of his life, a network designed to survive his death. This is Episode 5, The Network. The gray Camry was exactly where she said it would be. Stamford's Station, second level of the parking garage, keys under the passenger seat. License plate starting with Victor. We drove for 20 minutes through suburban Connecticut, past strip malls and office parks, and the kind of neighborhoods where nothing interesting ever happens, the perfect place to hide. 14 Maple Court was at the end of a cul-de-sac. Yellow house, just like she said. Quiet street. An American flag on the neighbor's porch. This is it? This is it. Third flower pot on the left. I lifted it. A brass key sat in a small depression in the wood. The house smelled like furniture polish and stale air. No one had been here in weeks, maybe months. But it was clean, maintained. Someone was taking care of it. Someone lives here? Not anymore. The living room was modest. Comfortable furniture, nothing fancy. Bookshelves filled with paperbacks. Photographs on the mantel. An older woman, gray-haired, smiling in front of various landmarks. On the coffee table, a manila envelope with a single word written on it. Marcus. That's got your name on it. Inside, a letter, a prepaid credit card, and a photograph. The photograph showed my father standing with the gray-haired woman from the mantel photos. They were smiling. Actually smiling. Reading. Marcus. If you're reading this, you've made it to Helen's house. Helen Bergman was one of the first people I helped escape the council 23 years ago. She's been dead for 6 months now, but she left this house to the network in her will. You're safe here. There's food in the pantry, cash in the bedroom closet, and a car in the garage. Continuing. The prepaid card has $10,000 on it. Use it for essentials only. Everything is traceable eventually. The burner phone you have is secure, but don't use it for more than 3 calls in any 24-hour period. They can triangulate with enough data points. How did he know all this? Continuing to read. I wish I could have told you all of this in person. I wish I could have been there to guide you through what comes next. But I ran out of time, and now you'll have to find your own way. The woman helping you, her name is Vera Santos. She knows more about the council's operations than anyone alive. Trust her with tactics, but not with everything. She has her own agenda. Reading. There are 6 more locations like this one. 6 more pieces of the puzzle I spent the last year building. Vera knows about 3 of them. The other 3, only I knew. Now, only you will know. The locations are encoded in a way only you can understand. Remember what I taught you about the numbers, Marcus. The numbers never lie. What does that mean? Slowly. I don't know. Not yet. Reading the end. I love you, son. I never stopped. Even when you hated me, especially then, I was proud of you. Proud of the man you became. The man I could never be. Whatever happens next, know that you were never the mistake I made. You were the one thing I got right. V. Softly. Marcus. I stood there, holding my father's words. The father who abandoned me. The father who lied to me. The father who, it turned out, had spent the last year of his life building a way for me to fight back. I didn't know whether to love him or hate him. Maybe I never would. We spent the next 3 hours going through everything. The contents of the wooden box spread across Helen Bergman's dining room table. Okay, let's organize this. Desiree took charge. She was a teacher. Organizing chaos was what she did. By noon, we had everything categorized. Column 1, the names. Page 48, and everything that supports it. 7 principals. Harrison Whitmore at the top. Column 2, financial records. Transaction histories, account numbers, shell companies. My father tracked 31 years of money movement, billions of dollars, hidden through layers of corporations in countries with no disclosure laws. Column 3, Photographs. Physical evidence of meetings, handshakes, coordination. Some of these go back to the 1990s. Politicians, business leaders, people I recognize from the news, and column 4, the cassette tape. We still can't play it. We need a tape player. In 2026, those aren't exactly common. Slight smile. There's a thrift store in every Connecticut town. We'll find one. You're taking this very well. What's the alternative? Fall apart? Panic? That doesn't help us. I'm terrified, Marcus. Don't mistake calm for courage. I have to believe we can get through this. That all of this leads somewhere. And if it doesn't, then at least we tried. At least we didn't just roll over and let them win. I looked at my wife, this woman who I had been trying to protect, who had been 2 steps ahead of me the entire time. She was handling this better than I was. Maybe that was the lesson. Maybe I'd spent so long trying to control everything, keep the secrets, manage the risks, protect the people I loved, that I'd forgotten what it meant to actually share a burden. I'm sorry. For what? For not telling you sooner, for trying to handle this alone, for being my father's son. You're not your father, aren't I? Keeping secrets? Pushing people away? Thinking I know what's best for everyone? Your father did those things for 30 years. You did them for 3 days. The difference is that you're trying to stop. That's who you are, Marcus. You're the man who's trying to be better. Don't give that up. That's the burner. Hello? You made it to Westport. We're at Helen's house. I read the letter. Then you know my name now. Vera Santos. I know your name. I don't know who you are. Fair enough. I was a financial analyst. Worked for a hedge fund that was secretly a council front. I discovered what they really were in 2018. They decided to silence me permanently. Your father helped me disappear before they could. Why did he help you? Because I had information he wanted. Transaction records from inside the organization. Things he couldn't get from his position. We helped each other. That's how the network works. Everyone has something to offer. Everyone has something to gain. And what do I have to offer? You have the most important thing of all, Marcus. You have the box, the names, the tape, and you have something else. Something none of the rest of us have. What? A face they recognize, a name they can't ignore. Marcus Cole, son of Victor Cole, the man who worked for 11 years inside Harrison Whitmore's company. The man who had access, who saw things, who could testify to patterns and practices. When this goes public, and it will go public, you won't just be a source, you'll be a symbol. The insider who turned. The son who finished his father's work. I didn't ask for that. No one asks for this. But here we are. What's the next step? The next step is the other lockers. Your father mentioned 6 more locations in his letter. I know about 3 of them. The other 3 are encoded somehow, for your eyes only. He said something about the numbers, a way of encoding things that only I would understand. Then you need to figure that out, because at least one of those locations contains duplicates of everything you have now, backup copies, insurance, and the other locations? Weapons, money, identities, transportation, everything you need for a prolonged fight, and one of them is a trap. You said that yesterday. I said at least 1, possibly more. How do you know? Because that's what I would do. If I were the council and I knew Victor was building a network, I would find a way to infiltrate it, plant a false location, wait for whoever came to collect. Your father was careful, but no one is perfect. How do we know which one is the trap? We don't. That's the problem. After Vera hung up, I sat with the letter for a long time, reading and rereading one line. Remember what I taught you about the numbers, Marcus? The numbers never lie. ... My father taught me a lot about numbers, how to balance a checkbook at age 10, how to calculate compound interest, how to find patterns in data that others missed. But what did he teach me that no one else would know? You've been staring at that letter for an hour. He's trying to tell me something. Something specific. About numbers. About our numbers. Personal ones. The kind only he and I would know. Like what? Birthdays? Phone numbers? Maybe. Or, wait. When I was 12, my father taught me a code. A simple substitution cipher. A equals 1, B equals 2, and so on. We used to leave each other secret messages around the house. Secret messages? It was a game. At least, I thought it was a game. He'd leave a coded note in my lunchbox. I'd decode it after school. Little puzzles. Look under the couch cushion for a surprise. Check the cookie jar. I forgot about it for years. But what if he didn't forget? What if the locations are encoded with that cipher? It's too simple. Anyone could crack a basic substitution cipher, unless there's another layer. Another layer. Oh, of course. What? The cipher wasn't just letters to numbers. We had a key, a specific number we'd add or subtract. The key changed with every message. How would you know what key to use? That's the thing. It was always based on something we both knew. The date. My age at the time. His birthday plus mine. If my father encoded the locations, he would have used a key that only I could figure out. Something from our shared history. So, where are the encoded messages? I looked at the contents of the box again. Page 48. The photographs, the financial documents, and the letter from the hotel, the final letter my father left. The letter. The one from the Ashford Hotel, reading, "The choice I never had, I give to you. Whatever you decide, know that I loved you. Every day of your life, even the days I wasn't there, especially those days." That's beautiful, but how is it encoded? It's not. But look, at the very bottom, after his signature, reading, P.S. 1982, 2003, 1147, 904, 227, 618. Those are just numbers. No, those are locations. Encoded. 1982 is the year I was born. 2003 is the year I graduated college, the last time we were close. 1147 is the locker at Grand Central. And the other three? 904, 227, 618. Those are the encoded ones. The locations only I'm supposed to find. I need to figure out the key. I worked through the night while Desiree slept, trying combinations, testing theories, my father's birthday plus mine, our old address, the date of my mother's funeral. Nothing worked. Around 3 a.m., I almost gave up, almost accepted that maybe I'd forgotten whatever code we'd shared, that too much time had passed. Then I remembered the last message he ever left me, the night before I confronted him, the night before everything fell apart. I was 22, home for Thanksgiving break. I found a coded note in my old bedroom, tucked under my pillow, just like when I was a kid. I'd decoded it out of habit, muscle memory. And when I read the message, I didn't understand it. It said, "I'm sorry for what you're about to learn. Remember, 2204. ... The next day, I found the documents, the real ones, not the ones meant for me. Transaction records in my father's desk. Enough to know he wasn't who I thought he was. I confronted him that night, and I never spoke to him again, but the number stuck in my head. 2204. I never knew what it meant, until now. 2204 wasn't a message. It was the key, the permanent key he'd use for any future coded communication. 22 for my age when I left. 04 for April, the month of my mother's birthday. I applied the key to the three unknown numbers. 904 minus 22 equals 882. 882. August 8th, 2 p.m. Or maybe a location, 88th Street, Building 2. 227 minus 22 equals 205, 205. February 5th, or Unit 205, or, no, think like him. Think like an accountant. These aren't dates. They're coordinates, partial addresses, the kind of shorthand we used to use. To himself. 904, using key 2204, subtract 22, get 882, that's 88 and 2. 88 Walker Street, Apartment 2, downtown Manhattan. 227. 227 minus 22 is 205. That's 20 and 5. 20 Lexington, 5th floor, the Gramercy area. 618 minus 22, 596. 59 and 6. 59 Bank Street, Unit 6, West Village. 3 addresses. 3 more locations my father had prepared. Locations Vera didn't know about. Locations that only existed because I remembered a 22-year-old code from a father who never stopped believing I would need it. Sleepy? Marcus? It's 4 a.m. I figured it out. What? The locations. I know where the other 3 are. More awake now. All 3? All 3. 88 Walker Street, 20 Lexington, 59 Bank Street. Do we tell Vera? That was the question. My father's letter said Vera had her own agenda, that I should trust her with tactics, but not everything. Not yet. Not until we know which one is the trap. How do we figure that out? We visit them. Carefully. One at a time. That's dangerous. Everything is dangerous now. Then we do it together. Desiree. Together, Marcus. That's not negotiable. I looked at my wife. Standing in the doorway of a dead woman's house, wearing clothes we'd grabbed from our apartment a lifetime ago. She wasn't the woman I'd married 6 years ago. Neither was I. We were becoming something else, something harder, something that could survive what was coming. Okay. Together. We left Westport at 6 a.m. Took the back roads to avoid highway cameras. Desiree drove while I watched the mirrors for any sign of a tail. Our first stop would be 88 Walker Street, downtown Manhattan, the closest location to where we'd started. The cassette player we'd found at a thrift store the previous evening sat on the dashboard. We hadn't listened to the tape yet. Part of me was afraid to. Are we going to play it? The tape? We've been avoiding it. What if it changes everything? Hasn't everything already changed? Put it in. Understand the situation completely. The prosecutor is getting too close. We could relocate the accounts. Buy more time. Time isn't the issue. He has sources inside our operation. Someone is feeding him information. I want him removed. Permanently. That's Harrison. That's a federal prosecutor. The investigation that would follow. We'll find nothing. Because we'll control it. We have people in the Bureau. People in justice. The investigation will be thorough, and will conclude that it was a tragic accident. And if it isn't thorough, if someone digs deeper, then they'll meet the same fate. I'm not going to prison because some ambitious attorney thinks he can make a name for himself. Are we clear? Crystal clear. Good. I want it done before the grand jury convenes. Make it look natural. Heart attack. Car accident. Whatever is cleanest. Oh my God. Harrison Whitmore III. Chairman of the 7. Owner of the company where I'd worked for 11 years. Ordering the murder of a federal prosecutor like he was ordering lunch. And this was from 1994. 32 years ago. How many more had there been since? That's it. That's everything. That's a confession. Clear as day. That's why my father kept it. That's why he never used it. Because they would have killed him. They killed him anyway. Eventually. So what do we do with it? We use it. The way he wanted us to. Give it to the police? No. They said they have people in the Bureau. People in justice. We can't trust law enforcement. Then who? The press. Independent journalists. People who can verify, investigate, publish without needing permission from anyone the council controls. And you know people like that? No, but I bet Vera does. The burner phone. Right on cue. Vera, you're on the move. How do you know that? I have people. Not following you. Watching the routes out of Westport. You're headed back to the city. We decoded the locations. The 3 my father hid. Already? That was fast. He taught me well. Where are you going first? Trust her with tactics, my father said. Not with everything. I'll tell you after we've checked it out. Marcus, that's not safe. You need backup. You said one of them might be a trap. If you don't know where I'm going, neither do they. That's actually smart. I'm learning. There's something you should know. Wexler has put out a bulletin. Unofficial, but widespread. Anyone who helps you will be marked. What kind of bulletin? The kind that gets people killed. He's calling you a corporate thief, saying you stole proprietary Whitmore information. Anyone in the financial world who shelters you becomes a target. You can't go back to your normal life, Marcus. There's no normal life to go back to. I figured that out yesterday. I'm sorry. Don't be. Just help me finish what my father started. That's exactly what I'm trying to do. We drove toward Manhattan, toward the first of 3 locations my father had prepared, toward whatever weapons, money, or information he'd left behind. Behind us, the safe house in Westport. Ahead, a city that now belonged to our enemies. We had the tape. We had the names. We had each other. And somewhere out there, Wexler was hunting. The game had changed. We weren't running anymore. We were fighting back. The story continues tomorrow. Marcus and Desiree are heading to the first hidden location. But Wexler has put out a bulletin. And the 7 are not the kind of people who lose gracefully. 88 Walker Street holds answers. But it may hold something else too. A trap set by a dead man's enemies. Or a weapon left by a dead man's love. Episode 6. The Walker Street Drop. If you want to find out what happens next, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. New episodes drop every single day. This is After Hours. See you in the dark.